One of the more remarkable effects that I'm sure you're going to use is what's known as the warp stabilizer effect. I think you will use it an awful lot if you do a lot of handheld filming. The warp stabilizer effect comes into its own for this project whereby all the footage was handheld. If you look at the clip at the moment that's in my program monitor, it's a little bit shaky. I'm going to hit play so that you can watch this back. As you can see, it is quite shaky. I want to try and lock down this movement as much as I can. To do this, we need to use the warp stabilizer effect, and we access it in our effects panel, and then within my video effects folder, the warp stabilizer effect is in this subfolder, distort. You'll find it at the bottom there. I'm going to left click on the warp stabilizer, and I'm going to drag it and drop it exactly on top of my clip on video track 1. When I do, notice what happens in the program monitor, also in the effect controls. I'll left click on the effect and drag and drop onto my clip. There you'll see in the program monitor that this warp stabilizer effect is step 1 of 2. It is analyzing in the background. It's analyzing every single frame. And once every single frame has been analyzed in my program monitor, you'll notice we now get that band running across saying that this effect is taking place. My first option is I want smooth motion. If I use the drop reveal there, you'll notice I either want smooth motion or no motion. Well, I'm going to go for smooth motion. I'll leave my smoothness set to 50%. In terms of the method, I'm going to go for subspace warp. In general, I find that works the best, or at least is a good starting point. But choose one of these other 3, position or position scale, rotation or perspective. I am going to leave it at stabilize, crop, auto scale, and you can see my auto scale ever so slightly. I've had to zoom in rather than it being at 100%, it's just gone up to 101%. That simply means that to be able to stabilize the footage so that it doesn't shake around so much, we've slightly zoomed in whilst the remaining pixels on our screen have now been smoothed out, i.e. they've been stabilized. You'll probably notice with really shaky footage, if you have your framing set to stabilize, crop, auto scale, with really shaky footage your auto scale goes up quite a lot. As it is, this is a little bit shaky, but not too bad. So as I say, just click on the drop reveal here, and you'll see these 4 separate options. I'm going to go for the stabilize, crop, auto scale. However, notice the last option, stabilize, synthesize edges. That might be useful if you don't really want to crop your clips. What would happen is the black edges, the black borders that inevitably occur, well, the edges of your frame, the edges of your clip will be synthesized in that they will be partially copied and the resulting black border, or the frame, will be filled in based on the edge elements of your clip. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest, but try it out, see if it does work better with your clips. If you really want to go into some advanced details, then you'll notice the advanced section here. Before I make any other changes, I want to play this back just to check it out first of all. Prior to doing that though, I want to render this. I'll come up to sequence and drop down to render effects, and the rendering takes place. Once done, I can play it. Before I do, I'm going to mute the audio. I'll now come back up to see what this looks like, and click on play. To my eyes, that's not done such a bad job. There still is a little bit of shake there, although I don't really mind that so much. That said, I think I'll take my smoothness up here to 100% to see what the result is like. So rather than typing in 100%, I'll drop here and then drag this slider. As soon as I do, we don't need to analyze every frame again, but the effect has to stabilize the footage once more, as you can tell by the band running across there. Notice now, auto scale has ever so slightly crept up, and that should give you an indication about how the auto scale works to zoom in on the footage when it's stabilizing it. Right, let me render it once more, and once we have rendered it once more, then I want to play this back to see what it's like, so I'll hit play. Again, to my eyes, that's even better than it was a few moments ago. And really, overall, I think this warp stabilizer effect has done a remarkable job. Certainly when we remember that this is simply handheld footage.